Hi everyone, what is up? What is good? It is morning time, so I'm still in bed, so pardon the mess. But I'm editing this video, the mental health video, and I realized that it was just going to be way too long for one video. So I decided I would do it in two parts. So this, what you're seeing now, is the second part. I just thought we needed to put a little disclaimer in here that there is a part one of this video. I do recommend that you watch it. It's on my channel. It's called, I haven't decided what I'm titling these videos yet, but it's something like Mental Health Part 1. Let's go check it out. It's my last upload. And then watch this video. You can watch them in either order, but it's going to make more sense probably if you watch the first one first. So anyway, I'm going to stop yapping and let you watch the rest of the video. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed part 2 of my mental health video. Bye.
The next thing that I have set up, I posted on my social media saying I was looking for things to talk about relating to mental health. I wanted to know what you guys wanted to know, and I wanted to talk about things that interested you all instead of just blabbing about my own mental health, because I really, really enjoy helping you guys through emotional situations and through your mental health struggles. So, the first thing, how to work on a positive self-image, how to help with insecurity and kind of build a better self-image and to feel more confident. This is hard, right? Like, being confident is hard. Being confident is always hard. I almost never feel confident, and I second guess every Instagram post I ever make. However, there's a couple different tools to feeling confident in yourself. The first thing is, I hate this phrase, but fake it till you make it. And it's true. If you walk into a room and pretend like you're confident, this is pretty similar to what we were talking about in Dear Man earlier in the video. Having an air of confidence about you, even if it's false, will help others to view you as confident, which may in turn spark some confidence in you. Practice self-validation, like something that we mentioned a little bit earlier as well. Go home at night, or whenever you're home. Sit in the mirror and look at yourself, or if you'd rather not look at yourself, write down. Make a list of things that you love about yourself, things that you think make you unique, things that you think make you. Look at those things and say, okay, and I want you to make lists that are physical. Make things, it's good to have lots of physical confidence in yourself, but make lists that are also not physical. For example, when I sit down and I think about the things I like about myself, I say I like my style. I like that I'm able to change up how I look. Physically, I like my tattoos. I love to show them off. I love that about myself. Personally, some things about my personality, I love that I'm able to take charge. I love to be a leader, and I love to help other people along the way. Those kinds of things are things that you can make a list, and you need to remind yourself of those things anytime you're feeling down and out and on yourself and be like, oh man, I'm not feeling confident at all. Just take a breath and think about those 2, 3, 4 things that you have put on your mind for yourself this week or this day or this month. Resonate on those things. I'm good at this. I like this about myself. I enjoy doing this. Resonating on those things will help bring you confidence in any situation, even if it's unrelated to those things. So yeah, that's what I would say about building confidence. Fake it, but also don't just fake it. Dig deep inside yourself and find what there is to be confident about, because I guarantee you there's plenty. There's so much to be confident about. Even if it's just, I like the way my big toe points when I walk. Cool. That's something to be confident about. Find something. Find something in yourself. There's something in literally everyone to be confident about. And I guarantee you it's bigger than your big toe. For sure. Another question. I struggle with anxiety. Any advice? I've had several people message me about anxiety, so I'm just going to kind of give an anxiety advice in general. Anxiety is something that I've dealt with for years. It's hereditary in my family. Lots of people in my family struggle from anxiety. And something that is so important, because it's different for everyone. Some people have lots of success with anxiety medications. Some people just, swear by things like Ativan or, even taking SSRIs for anxiety. Some people think that's the best move. Personally, my SSRIs really don't help my anxiety very much. They are there as kind of like they alleviate the depression that often triggers some of my anxieties. But for me, anxiety, learning to cope with anxiety is just that. It's learning to cope with anxiety, staying away from things that trigger your anxiety, keeping them away, knowing that when you start to feel anxious, how to calm that down before it becomes a full-on panic attack, and also learning how do I handle a panic attack? How do I handle myself? How do I handle my situations with others? How do I communicate during a panic attack? All of these things are really important when you're learning how to deal with anxiety. First thing, stay away from things that cause you anxiety. Identify what brings you anxiety in your life. For me, mess. Having a mess around the house, having things unorganized, dirty, whatever, that brings me so much massive anxiety. If my house is starting to get messy and I'm starting to feel my mental health unravel, I'm like, I need to clean. I need to remove this source of anxiety from my life. Identify your sources of anxiety. They can be people, they can be places, they could be situations, ideas, they can be states, and by state, I don't mean like the physical geographic state. I mean, it could be that. If you're really stressed out about Virginia, whatever, me too. You need to identify those places that you go mentally that cause anxiety, or where you most commonly feel anxious. Do you commonly feel anxious around other people? Do you commonly feel anxious by yourself? Do you feel anxious in the morning? Do you feel anxious at night? Do you feel anxious when you take tests? Obviously, you can't remove tests from your life, but you can reduce some of the other things that cause stress in your life, such as friends that cause you anxiety, places, people, etc. So I think my first biggest tip for dealing with anxiety is removing the anxiety from your life, removing it as much as you possibly can, and then seeing what you can do to alleviate the anxiety stressors that are still remaining in your life, as far as like, how can I make this easier for myself? What would make me feel better during this time? For example, you can't eliminate tests from your life until you graduate from college or from whatever you're done doing educationally. You can't remove those stresses from your life. If tests give you massive anxiety, you have to take tests. But what you can do is find ways for yourself that makes being tested more manageable. Is it studying more? Is it studying for X amount of time the night before so that you know? Is it having a study guide that's given to you by the professor? If the professor doesn't provide study guides, is it worth asking? Is it chewing a specific flavor of gum? Is it rewarding yourself with a coffee during the exam? What is it that would bring you greater peace during that time of anxiety that you cannot completely take from your life, if that makes sense? Another tip for anxiety, and my next biggest tip, is breathing. The gravity that and the like firmness and the grounding that a good deep breath will give you during a moment of panic is amazing. I cannot describe it to you. That in through the nose and out through the mouth, that deep inhale and exhale, it will change your world really fast. And if it doesn't change your world immediately, that's okay. Keep breathing, keep drinking water, take a lie down, pace around, do whatever you need to do, but take those deep breaths. Get the oxygen flowing down through your body and all the way into your brain, because it's really, really important for fighting away those anxious tendencies and those anxious, hyperventilating, shallow breaths. You don't want those. You want to take deep, nice, whole breaths to try and get your heartbeat regulated, try and get your mind still, and be ready to move forward past this anxiety spell. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So when people respond to your episodes by telling you to chill out, but they claim that they're very mentally health aware, I guess. This is something that's really, really, really personal to me, really important to me. I really understand it. That's very frequent for someone to be like, hey, I understand you. Hey, I'm really aware of your mental health situation. Hey, I'm really there for mental health. I'm an ally of mental health. But then when you're having an episode, to not recognize it, or to recognize it and to still tell you to chill out. That's very detrimental to someone's mental health, and especially if that someone is struggling from a mood disorder such as borderline. My advice for the situation would be to communicate with that person that is telling you to chill out. First and foremost, stop the conversation there and say, as calmly as you can, try to remember the dear man. Try to remember those things and try to maintain that sense of calmness when communicating with this person. Take as many deep breaths as you need before stopping them and saying calmly, in a way that will put you both back on the same level of, communication in a respectful, quiet, calm manner. I really dislike it when you tell me to chill out, tell me to calm down, tell me to stop overreacting. I don't like it because it makes my feelings feel invalid. I don't like it because I am trying to calm down and I cannot physically, mentally, etc. I don't like it because fill in the blank with why you don't like this action, why it really upsets you, and why it's only causing the situation to get worse. Communicate with that person and tell them, hey, I don't like this because of this, this, and this. It makes me feel like this. I think that we could communicate more efficiently if you stopped telling me to chill out and instead said this. Offering solutions to saying chill out is very helpful. All just following that pattern and being like, I don't like this. Here's why. Here's what we could do to fix it. Here's what could happen if we tried to do those things to fix it. Maybe even here's a solution for how I think you could fix it. All of those things as calmly as possible is what I would give advice to do on your end. On that person's end, it's difficult because maybe they don't have experience with someone with mental health. Maybe they don't have experience with someone who is very sensitive to the words chill out, very sensitive to the words calm down, very sensitive to that whole idea. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, we grow up with a very relaxed, chill out, calm down, kind of like an everyday lingo, and it can be very, very triggering for some people with mental health issues. So it's really important, if you're on the other side of that, to be the person that recognizes when that person comes to you and says, hey, I really don't like it if you tell me to chill out. Hey, I really don't like it when you tell me to calm down. To acknowledge that from that person. When they tell you that, listening to that wholeheartedly, opening your ears and trying to set your emotions aside using Dear Man all day. Everybody should use Dear Man. Dear Man all day, I like that. Dear Man all day.
Dear Man all day.
Using Dear Man all day. Listening to what that person is saying to you, listening to what they're saying, recognizing how your own actions could possibly make that person feel, and trying to work together with that person who's trying to communicate with you efficiently, who's trying to calm down, who's trying to do that without you being disrespectful. If you both can mutually respect each other and come to a conclusion, I think it's best that you just do your best to listen to them, apologize to them if you did do something that upset them or hurt their feelings or made it difficult to communicate with them, and move forward. But as a general note for everyone, I do think it's important that when someone is showing signs of distress, it's important for us to try and remove language such as chill out, calm down, things like that from our vocabulary, because it can very often feel insulting or difficult to this person. Instead, I would try to phrase things like, just phrase it differently. I'm not saying you can never tell anyone to calm down again. Like, sometimes somebody needs to hear, hi, we should calm down. But instead of necessarily using the words like calm down, chill out, things that often have a very negative connotation to someone when they're going through an emotionally traumatic experience in a situation where they need to calm down, it's often easier to hear things like, why don't we try and take a deep breath together? Why don't we take a moment and pause and revisit this in a little bit? How are you feeling right now? Check in with me. What are you thinking right now? Things that stop the conversation in their tracks and help get the person to calm down. Just telling someone like, hey, don't be sick anymore. That doesn't help. If you're shouting at your friend who has a cold and saying, hey, get rid of your cold, that person's just going to be like, damn, man, I can't help that I have a cold. Geez, I'm trying. But instead, bring your friend orange juice. Bring your friend some vitamins. Tell your friend, hey, I understand that you have a cold. Let's talk about ways that we can make this better. Being communicative and trying not to lash out and be like, calm down, chill out. So important. So important. And I hope that anyone watching this, whether you know someone with mental health issues or not, you can communicate with anyone that's in a distress level. Children, adults, older adults, pets, anything. Instead of stop it, try this. So stop it conveys no, just stop what you're doing, doesn't offer a different solution. Try this still redirects someone from the activity that you don't like, that you were saying stop it to, but encourages them to try a different alternative instead of just being like, chill out. You say, why don't we take a deep breath together? It gives them something to do and distracts them from whatever is not chilling them out. I can ramble about this for hours, but I think if being told to chill out is something that really, really, really triggers you, like it is something that really, really triggers me, really, really upsets me in times of mental health crisis, communicating that with the person who has told you to chill out, who has said that, this goes for anything that really triggers you. Someone that doesn't understand why the trigger is so triggering, communicating with them, saying, hey, I don't like this because let's try and fix it, is great. Offering solutions is important on both sides. If you're the other person, trying to remain conscious of, maybe let's use socially positive language instead of stop this, chill out, calm down, and offering solutions to your partner or the person that you're communicating with, such as, let's take a deep breath together, let's try and revisit this later, what can I do to help you, how are you feeling right now, and things like that. I have a couple more things that I want to talk about. Another thing that was sent in to me. When you're dealing with anxiety, so this is adding on to my anxiety, cats are being bad. Hey! No! Stop it. Come here. Hey. Hello. No, sir. Get down. Go, 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 go. Yes, good job. Someone responded with some advice of their own. So I earlier answered the question. I just answered the question of like advice for anxiety, and I gave you my personal advice, but this is advice from another one of my followers. It says, anxiety or intrusive thoughts that keep like getting in your way, try detaching or separating yourself from it as a whole, and remember that it's a separate entity from you, and combat it with good thoughts or rational thoughts so as not to let it take over. So that's a great thing to do. If you're capable of reining yourself in, I know in some points of anxiety or depression, things get so low that you're just like not capable of being like, well, here's a happy thought instead. But I think that if there's a moment, the detaching bit, I really, strongly recommend of like, okay, I'm Sabrina, I'm having anxiety. It's not, I'm Sabrina, I am anxiety. I don't have to have anxiety. It's just happening right now. It's temporary. Here's some happy things I can try and think of instead. But at least keeping that mindset of like, okay, myself and the anxiety are two separate things. They're not one giant thing. And trying to keep that boundary set, keeping the line fixed between yourself and your anxiety is really important in like dealing with what's going on. So I agree with that. Stevie, no, they can see you. Do you want to be on the camera? Yes, you do. Oh, she just typed ass on my computer. What? Stevie, that's so bad. The next bit that I have to share with you all is a story, which is from one of my followers that they sent in, their mental health journey, their mental health experience, and I want to share it with you guys because I think it's really important to share experiences when you get the opportunity, as it opens a conversation. So this person said, back in 2014, at the start of my first senior year at college, I started noticing things were going slightly off, like piece by piece, as if you had one of those color by number pictures, and every couple of weeks you removed a couple of the colored blocks. That's a really, really good imagery idea. And that's really great to kind of like describe what's going on. The feelings I had ranged from sad to very happy, with some days feeling just pretty fine. But a lot of what I felt was gray. There was a lack of emotion and no desire to do many of the things that I loved. Even the little stuff. Even when I made myself do them, it wasn't the same. What didn't help was one of the times I tried opening up to how I was feeling to a friend at the time and ended up being told, just be happy. What do you have to be sad about? So I bottled everything up, and it got worse. After a breakup near the end of the year, it culminated in me trying to kill myself. After that, I ended up getting the psychological and medical help I needed. Fast forward to now, and as of 2 weeks ago, the gray feeling is back, along with the dramatic mood swings, but now there's more anxiety and nervousness mixed in. I've already reached out to medical here on base. This person is in the military. For therapy, going back on medication. Luckily, since I'm active military, I'm a Marine stationed in this place. The band, cool, musician for the military. In the military. Hey! Do you mind? Okay. Getting healthcare is very easy on the base. That's great. Good news. Some other things about mental health. This is this person's now advice or tips or things they want to say about it. It's okay to realize that you aren't feeling well, and it's okay to admit that you might not be able to handle it alone and that you need professional help. This is so true. It's okay to not be okay. You don't have to brave face it for everybody. You don't have to do that, and it's not good for you to do that. Don't be afraid of trying medication. Some view it as something I'm dependent on, but as something that can improve my quality of life enough so that I can get the tools to better look after myself so that down the road maybe I can come off of them and still do well. That is really true. I, for so long, was anti-medication. I was like, I don't want any meds. I just want to be myself. I don't want to be dependent on something else to be happy. But then, things got... Things got really bad, and I needed the medication, and now that I'm so glad that I'm on medication. I'm so glad that I have that, because maybe, like you said, maybe one day I will function well without it, or maybe one day I won't, and that's also okay. So, yeah, in general, that's a great tip. Find people to talk to who you are comfortable opening up with. Whether it's friends, family, or professional, I believe we all can benefit from talking about our problems, no matter the size. That's true. We all need somebody to talk to. We all need a sounding board sometimes because life gets lonely otherwise. My pizza! Yes! When I notice that I'm not feeling right, I try to really make sure I'm eating healthy with lots of fruits and vegetables and that I'm hydrating. It's amazing how those two things can change the way you're feeling for the better. And that is very true. No amount of fruits and veggies are going to cure your depression. No amounts of fruit and veggies are going to make your mental health absolutely okay. But when you notice yourself feeling off, take your meds if you're on meds. Eat healthily. Drink lots of water. Stay hydrated. It helps your brain function. Take a warm shower. The importance of showering. I have always said, and of course it's a joke, I do not believe that a warm shower can cure depression, but I've always said that. I've always said one warm shower can just cure my depression, because a lot of times we forget to take care of ourselves when we're feeling down and out mentally, and it's really, really important to do so, because sometimes that's all our body's asking for in that moment. And no, it's not going to make you 100 times better, but it is going to make you feel healthier. It is going to make you feel more put together. It's going to make you feel more like you've got a little bit of control on your life, and that's really invaluable. You need that during those times. So yeah. Thank you for sending me in your questions. I really enjoyed answering them, and thank you for watching this video. I hope that you learned some things. If you did learn something, comment down below what you learned and let me know. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And if you like these sorts of videos, I'll do more mental health talks on various topics. I would love to do that, and I would love to help in any way that I can. So if you have a problem, even if I haven't posted on my story or posted on my YouTube or posted anywhere and said like, hi, send me your stories, and then you need to speak, and it's something that I feel like could be beneficial to other people, I'm more than happy to answer it anonymously. I'm more than happy to answer it on my platforms so that other people could get that same advice as well. So if you're having an issue, don't be afraid to reach out. I would really appreciate it. And once again, thanks for visiting my channel. I love you guys loads, and I'll see you next time. Bye!